Presented by Bones Brothers Media.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters. We have arrived, and so has Tiger Woods. So what was going to be a already very interesting and competitive week of DFS talk has even been taken up a notch. And I don't know how serious we are about, we'll get your takes on how serious you are about Tiger actually contending in this tournament. But a lot of the media is going to be following Tiger. And you know, when Tiger is on a course, that means, you know, there's armed guards following him usually. There's several different countries, medias that's following him. A lot of hoopla that what was probably going to be just, I don't want to say a walk in the park at all, but it was just going to be, hey, focused. Now Tiger Woods is involved here, and it has a whole other layer of the onion to it. Bones DK joining us from Pittsburgh. What do you make of Tiger Woods playing? How does it influence your handicapping here?
Yeah, you know, this is the week we've all been waiting for, right? None of these Valspar or Valero. It's the Masters. It's a major, and really, really excited about it. Tiger being here is incredible. I mean, I'm all for it. I know there's a lot of players that are pretty upset about it, actually, because it's just making the media go insane. It's pretty wild that he is coming back. And I think the fact that he is playing means he's going to contend, Edge, in my opinion. I think that he wouldn't go out there if he's 50-50 or anything. He wants to win. So it's gonna be a wild week with Tiger.
Excited to get to the $8,000 tier then. Wildman, do you think the media hoopla around Tiger Woods affects the tournament? Because I can tell you this, it's affected practice rounds. I mean, they only let a limited amount of people on the grounds to begin with, but 99.9% of them with photographic evidence from a picture we just saw were following Tiger. I guess they were able to get a couple holes in maybe this morning, or maybe that was yesterday, whenever it was. Is that going to change the face of this tournament at all? The focus of this tournament?
For sure. I mean, you can't have Tiger in an event period, let alone coming off the car accident, a little bit more than a year ago, and his return to competitive golf, being at Augusta, place he's won 5 times. Don't forget this. I agree with Bones DK that he's going to contend. Bernhard Langer finished top 25 here just a couple of years ago. I think 2 years ago. Freddie's made a couple cuts in an old age. Mickelson's won this event in his 40s. This is a course where you get around if you know what you're doing. So I would expect Tiger to compete. And for those guys that are annoyed that he's here, you're probably talking about the debutantes this week, and there's a significant amount. I believe 18 or 19 of the 90 golfers making their debut. So, you want to take yourself out of it as a first-timer. Well, be afraid of Tiger Woods, and you have no chance. Blood in the water, sayonara.
5 wins, 12 top 10s, 24. I believe this will be his 24th appearance if he does follow through with what he said in today's. Go ahead, man.
0 missed cuts for Tiger.
0 missed cuts. I mean, that's fantastic. Points you're making there with Fred Couples getting around. Fred Couples kind of runs out of gas, in the 3rd and 4th round each time, but he's always there to make the cut, always competing on that first day. Tiger looks fantastic, by the way. Who knows what his, torque is going to be able and what his turn is going to be able to do, but he looks great. He looks like he could win. In fact, he looks like the most fit golfer at Augusta right now. I mean, that's how good he looks. He's 46 years old. You might be right with the blood in the water. Let's get into some guys that are being overlooked here because of Tiger right now. I don't want to say overlooked, but we're not talking about him as much. We'll start with the $11,000 tier. There's only one guy going at $11,000, and newsflash, it ain't Jon Rahm. It's our boy Scotty Scheffler, 3-time winner on tour this year. Jon Rahm right behind him, though, at 10-8. You got Dustin Johnson at 10-5, who hasn't really been all that impressive in 2022. Justin Thomas, always a threat, 10,300. He's a great friend of Tiger. They've played here many times. He knows a lot of the ins and the outs, the things that Tiger talks to him about. And then you have Morikawa at 10-2, Hovland at 10-1, McIlroy at 10,000. So, boy, the biggest tier of 5-digit guys we have, you got to probably build your lineup around one of them, Bones TK.
Yeah, you probably want to get one of these guys in, though it is very tempting this week to just do a balanced build because there's a lot of guys in the 9 and 8K range that are playing really good golf, and it just seems like the superstars aren't really winning this year, and it proves because Scotty Scheffler is number one in the world right now. If you would have said that in February that Scotty Scheffler was going to be number one in the world, I bet a lot of people wouldn't have guessed that. They thought John Rahm, Morikawa, JT were runaways. And now all of a sudden we have a new number one in the world. This week, I think it is worth paying up for Scotty Scheffler. I mean, why wouldn't you? A 19th and an 18th in his only two appearances. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Wildman said this. Scotty doesn't have worse than a 20th place in any major in his career. Is that right, Wildman?
6 straight in the top 20.
Okay, 6 straight in the top 20, and this was before he became this superstar, number one in the world. So yeah, load up Scotty Scheffler this week. You got John Rahm, who I know we got a buddy that will win $35,000. JC, shout out to him. He has a 18 parlay. John Rahm is the last leg of it, and he went 7-0 to it. So that is huge. I'm rooting for him. I don't know. There's just John
Four
Rahm.
consecutive top tens. 4 consecutive top tens here at the Masters, though. The guy is, talk about blood in the water. This guy's competitive as hell. He's got that kind of edge that Tiger Woods does. What don't you like about him, Bones DK? Because it sounded like you were going to make an argument against him.
Yeah, I just haven't been on him, and it's been kind of winning me money this year. I mean, the 10th, 21st, 17th, 55th. What's going on is as you see with the stats, is that his irons are dialed in. He's great off the tee, but he can't putt, and he's not good around the green. Well, guess what? You're going to need a good putter and be a good around the green for the Masters. And there's so many good players out in this field this week. I'm not betting on a guy that is looking like that, in my opinion. At that price, for DraftKings purposes. Yeah, he can come out and win, but DraftKings purposes, I think there's a lot more you can pay down for in the 10K range.
Usually the winner here, Wildman, has had past success in that they finish or have a couple top 5 finishes or maybe even a runner-up finish. And you just saw the history of Rahm right there. Are you in or out on Rahm this week?
Well, you make a good point there, too. In fact, only one winner since Tiger in 97, his first Masters, has missed the cut the year prior. So we are looking at the creme de la creme here up at the top as the probable winner. I'm in on Rahm. I mean, those strokes gained off the tee numbers. This is a course that plays a lot longer than it feels. Driving distance always is an advantage. And the iron, and the reason why really is because there's a lot of elevation changes. And also you have to hit into plateaus on the green. So you're not just hitting into the green, you're hitting into specific quadrants of the greens to give yourself opportunities to putt there. Also, no greens books this week. So You see no first-timers having a lot of success here. Nobody's won it in their first appearance since Fuzzy Zeller in the 70s. So, and then finally, I know I'm hitting you with a lot of stats here. Every winner since Bubba in 2012 has been ranked inside the top 18 in the world. So that goes to show you something. Course history matters. You have to know your way around here. You have to be prepared to put up with Tiger playing with you, in front of you, or behind you. Certainly have a good tee to green game to even give yourself an opportunity to make putts. Look, Rahm's numbers statistically are impeccable outside of the putter. You have to feel like giving him, 3 or 4 weeks to get it right. He's going to get it right. I would expect Rahm in the top 5.
Well, we always talk about player motivation also. This is the tournament where they are most motivated for, at least in 2022 to this point. So you're going to get the best version of everybody. Every player's coming out with the purpose of winning here, not working anything out or any kinks. We're trying to win a major championship here. I want to hit you, Bones DK, with one other guy there because Justin Thomas, even though his price is at $10,300, you got to feel safe with him. He's made 6 consecutive cuts here at the Masters. And when you're talking about a guy with no greens book and maybe because again, Tiger Woods hasn't played for a whole calendar year here. It's great to have him here. So is Justin Thomas the guy with the skill set and the knowledge this week to maybe get that green jacket?
That's a great take on Justin Thomas, Edge. And yes, he is. He is probably my favorite play in the 10,000 range. Scotty's, I like him at 11K. In the 10K, I'm looking at JT here. I mean, he's like friends with Tiger Woods, right? Like he plays with him. He played with him yesterday. And I don't think Tiger being there is going to affect him at all in a bad way. It might motivate him. And he's just a guy that is one of the toughest competitors in all of golf. And he doesn't have that Masters yet, and he's had a couple close calls. So yeah, I mean a fourth place in 2021. Look at his history as well with JT. And if you scroll over to his stats, just to double down, it's all green. I mean, 3 top 10s in the last 4 events out of JT. He is heating up to win this tournament. He is the toughest fade at all. Definitely in that range, 10-3. If I don't play him, I'll be extremely scared. So I'm going to try to find a way to put him in my lineups this week.
It's crazy, Wildman, to say that the guy has value at 10,000, but Rory McIlroy, that's a pretty good price for Rory at 10,000. It goes against the statistic you just gave that he missed the cut last year, but prior to that, he's been sniffing around that green jacket. He's in a really good state of mind. You guys know I have a Rory poster on my wall in my room, though, so I hope I'm not biased on this one, but Rory seems like a value pick at 10,000 this week.
Yeah, he should be fine tee to green. I mean, remember, he's going for the Grand Slam here for his at least 7th or 8th try, right? So he's looking for this to complete the Grand Slam. He shot a 63 in the opening round and followed that up with an 80 back a few years ago too. So he seems to have something going on here that the pressure mounts against him. But he's got that right to left ball flight, and he's an ace off the tee. So I think Rory can win any time he tees it up. Seems like a little bit of a bargain at 10K. But the other guy I want to mention is Morikawa. Yeah, okay, fine. He's down and out a little bit, right? Hasn't won a tournament in, a month or two, and so we hate him again. We didn't think he could win the Open Championship, and he did. We didn't think he could win the PGA, and he hit a driver off the tee on 16 to 8 feet, sunk it for eagle, and stole that from DJ. This guy's poised, man, and he is one of the best iron players in the world. Whatever these guys have been dealing with the last couple of weeks, forget about it, because they've all had their sights set on this week. They've all been preparing for it. They've all been working it out. They all got here early. So I would expect him to be at a very, very low percentage owned in some contests, and a guy that is hard to bet against on any surface in any place. And now you got a short field with everything on the line. There's not many guys, including Scotty Scheffler, that have raised as many trophies as Morikawa have recently.
We got to talk. We just hit just about every guy in the $10,000 range, or 7 of them, crying out loud. So we got to keep it short here. 20 seconds. He's your boy. You didn't say a word about DJ. Bones DK.
I think that's more of a Wildman take. Let's see what he's got to say about him.
DJ? Wildman?
Yeah, look, I love DJ. DJ makes me giggle. But yeah, look, the history's been impeccable. He missed the cut here last year, but you just, whatever trends you're looking at, you can pretty much throw them out the window with DJ, right? You don't know if he was partying last night, if he wasn't partying last night. I'm looking at videos of him and Paulina out on the speedboat. Anything's possible. You could miss the cut. But I think right now it doesn't feel as obvious to me for DJ.
All right, that's fair. Let's jump down to the $9,000 tier. A lot of value here. Smith at 9.9, Spieth at 9.8, 2-time winner here. Spieth won twice here, right? Schauffele 96, Cantlay 95. Cantlay at 95. Sorry, I had to say that twice. In my opinion, Brooks Koepka is a must-play here at 94. I think that's an incredible value for Koepka. Matsuyama, last year's winner at 93, left last week's tournament early to get here so he could practice. Big Z at 92, DeChambeau at 91, Berger at 9. Somebody out of this group could very easily win this tournament.
Yeah,
Bones DK, who do you like?
This is what I was talking about. It's going to be tough not to build this balanced build. I think Scotty isn't going to get much ownership this week, is why I kind of love him. At 11K, it's a lot of money you're paying for him, but a lot of people are going to go to this range right here Obviously, Cam Smith, there's not even much to say about him. The Players Champion has a 5th, a 10th, and a 5th here in 3 out of 4 appearances. Yeah, I mean, he actually struggles off the tee a little bit. I don't know, how important that really is, but I mean, look at him off the tee here. I mean, he's struggling. So there's signs of weakness there, I guess, out of Cam Smith. So that scares me a little bit. Is he going to win the Players and the Masters in the same year? Probably not, but he's going to contend. I do like Cam Smith, but he's not like an auto lock in my opinion. One of my favorite plays in this range, besides Zalatoris, what I want to get to is Xander Schauffele. This is something I was studying before the podcast, and he just is sneakily there. Xander Schauffele, a 2nd and a 3rd out of 2 out of 3 times in the last 3 years, and just playing really good golf. I mean, I think people are totally overlooking Xander. Let me just scroll over to Fantasy National here, and this is what I'm talking about. Dominating, I'm not counting the Players, so let's take the Players out. 3rd, 13th, 12th in 2022 so far. Gaining on approach. His off the tee is impeccable, and then you go down to the course history here. 2nd, 17th, and 3rd in his last 3 events. I mean, he is really tough to pass up this week, and I think he's a great play in this range. And my other favorite play is Will Zalatoris. The best irons in the game, 2nd place in his only appearance here, and look at off the tee, just dominating off the tee as well. And then you go back to what I was knocking wrong for is around the green and putting. Covey actually gave me a pretty good stat. I was with him this morning over at his dungeon. We were talking Masters golf, and he said that while he was watching the match play last week, he noticed that Zalatoris changed his putting grip, and he's going with more of like a claw grip. So giving him a little more control, and you see when he's putting, it's a little shaky and everything. So, maybe he found something with the putter there. Big Z, lock and load him up. That's the Bones DK play of the week, and I've been playing him. I've been saying this for weeks, and I'm going to stick to it. It's Will Zalatoris. I love him. I think he can easily win this tournament.
Big Z, 2nd runner-up in his only appearance here, Wildman, man. That's good stuff out of Bones DK. Went on record with it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the remark I made? I kind of gave my own commentary about Koepka. I like him at 9-4. Like, look, there are 4 things Brooks Koepka cares about. They're the Masters, the U.S. Open, the Open, and the PGA. That is it. That is what he has decided in his young career, that his legacy is going to be defined by that. And he's going to want to win this. He's also a 2-time winner here at the Masters. I mean, Koepka at 9-4. I know he's not lighting it up, but like I said, this is the only thing he cares about. You will get the best version of Brooks Koepka here at the Masters this weekend that you'll get all 2022.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I mean, he's a 2-time U.S. Open and PGA winner. Hasn't won here, but he does have a runner-up. Again, it still just seems like, you talk about the Schauffele's, you talk about the Cantlays, you talk about even the Cameron Smiths. We're talking about a guy with 4 majors in the last 5 years. I mean,
in his prime still. In his prime.
So, and when you talk about the pressure of this event, you talk about the intensity of the event, the Tiger effect. I can't say there's one guy that can absorb that better. This is a compliment. I usually don't compliment Brooksy, but that wants that limelight, enjoys that spotlight more than Koepka. So, if he doesn't have a good week, it's going to be because he's not playing well. It's not going to be because of any of these outside factors. I think he's ripe for the course. I think he's in a very, very good position. He's been playing well this year. Sure, yeah, 9,400.
Koepka,
come on, man.
Koepka lost to Phil Mickelson,
Scotty.
didn't he? He lost to Phil Mickelson, and then when the crowd came in and the guy bumped his knee.
Yeah, I mean, he
so,
did.
So I could see him just being upset again, losing to Phil. And now Tiger's in here. It's like, get the hell out of my way. I'm Brooks Koepka. I'm going to win this tournament.
Now,
I can see that
I want to
easily.
talk just quickly about some fades. DeChambeau has a broken bone in his hand right now. He's only about 80% health. He says it hasn't been bothering him, but the doctors told him to take 4 months off. He chose to take 2 months off and play this week, so he's battling some ailments. And he also leads the field in most 3-putts here at Augusta since 2018. The guy right behind him, Louis Oosthuizen. So those guys, maybe just don't get around with the putter too well. Although I do like Louis at every major. But those are two guys maybe you want to steer clear from down here.
What is not to like about Cantlay at 9.5, Bones? I mean, just 2 months ago, he was the number 3 player in the world, perhaps the hottest player in golf coming into the 2022 season.
That was my point about Scotty Scheffler. Like, you had Cantlay, John Rahm, Morikawa, JT. Like everyone was like, John Rahm's the greatest player ever. And now Scotty's the number 1, just to bring up Scotty again. But, I don't know. Patrick Cantlay, he's awesome. I think it was like number 4 in the world. I think that's a good price. But again, I'm just focused on guys that are here right now. Yeah, Cantlay could do it. I'm just not there.
I'll add one thing to that. If you remember the Tiger Masters in 2019, Cantlay was right there. I believe he was 1 back down the stretch, put a ball in the water at 15, and played him way out of that tournament. So,
look at those finishes for Cantlay.
Yeah.
In 4th, 2nd, 33rd, and the Players is out. If you played in the morning at that Players, you got job.
That's a good point.
Pretty darn good right there. 3 top 10s.
You could convince me on Patrick Cantlay.
We talk about motivation. This guy, aside from Rory, is one of the best sound bites in golf. He is a very philosophical thinker, very level-headed, has experienced some tragedy in his life. He's got the temperament to win, as he's demonstrated in the past, and he has had success already in 2022. Missed the cut, though, 2 out of his last 4 years. I do see that. That's a little scary. But,
he has a top 10 in there, though. I mean...
Yeah, and he's one of the top players in the world at that salary. When he's the 4th or 5th ranked player in the world, and you're getting him at the 13th or 14th or 15th, ranked golfer on DraftKings, that's a bargain, man. That's a bargain. Those are pot odds you sometimes have to play.
I look for like little flags, right, for these, because who are you going to pick out of these top 15 players? It's really, really difficult to not pick Patrick Cantlay, but his approach just hasn't been amazing lately, and that's a big red flag to me. So I'm going to look at players that are playing better right now in this moment this week.
Anything you want to add to that, Wild Man, before we get to the $8,000 tier?
No, I mean, the only thing I'll add is that, if you're starting the lineup, with Cantlay, Koepka, and Schauffele, that's pretty good. I mean, if you can get all 3 of those guys in the lineup at a major,
7,100 left with 3 guys if you do that.
I mean, hey, guys out there getting creative in DFS. That's kind of a stars and scrubs lineup right there, if there is such a thing as a scrub in the Masters here. Let's jump out of the $8,000 tier. A lot of major winners in this tier. Louis Oosthuizen is not one of them, but he's had some great success at majors. We know that. 8,900. Lowry's won 1. He's got 88. Gooch, he's at 87. Burns playing well at 86. A guy that's won 1 or 2 majors. Tiger Woods at 85. His ownership, you got to believe, is going to be high this week, too. Just out of the sheer excitement of having him back. A lot of dead money probably throwing stuff in on Tiger Woods this week. They just want to get a piece of it and feel the energy that he brings to Augusta and the game. Adam Scott has won here. He's at 83. Neiman, 82. Finau, 81. Want to throw out Answer real quick. We'll dip into the $7,000 tier at 79 because that seems like a pretty decent price for him. And then Sergio, his only major here, 78. Lock and load some Sergio, man, and have a great weekend, no matter what happens, no matter what the scoreboard says. Nobody loses when you suit up Sergio. Right, Wild Man?
I don't know if I can agree with that.
All right, who do you like here? Bones DK out of those guys I just mentioned.
Wildman didn't even play Sergio at the Players, and I had more texts about Sergio than any other player about him. he loves Sergio. Yeah, this is a great range. So, yeah, Louis is a fine play. Taylor Gooch being up at 8,700 I don't really get that one. Maybe he'll do well here, but I'm not on Gooch at 8,700 at the Masters. Sam Burns is a great play here, 8,600. He kind of negates the first, the have to have experience here. He hasn't had experience here. First time ever playing some of the best golf in the world. Zalatoris came in 2nd place in his only appearance. Rob McIntyre came in 12th in his only appearance. So don't be worried about that. I think Sam Burns is a fine play, almost a great play, actually. So I really like Sam Burns here. 8,500 Tiger Woods. We talked enough about him. His ownership actually is projected low right now, but I think that's because the news isn't totally official yet. So yeah, his ownership is going to go up a lot. Here's one guy that's getting a ton of ownership this week so far, projected on a Tuesday, is Joaquin Niemann, and he is playing with Tiger Woods. Correct me if I'm wrong on the first round. So I think that is definitely going to affect him. It's also going to be a little rainy and windy here, and the Honda Classic was rainy and windy. He missed the cut there, Joaquin Niemann, so that's something to look at. And to bring up the Honda somewhat corollary weather here is Shane Lowry, guys. Give me some Shane Lowry. In 2022 so far on the PGA Tour, he has a 2nd, 13th, and 12th. Has yet to record a double bogey and is just playing some of the best golf in the world right now. Let's go over to his stats. That's Sam Burns. Sorry, I saw the S here. Shane Lowry. Let's go down here. Look at him off the tee. Look at his approach. Look at his putting. He is an all-around golfer doing it all right now. A major winner. 2 top 25s in his last appearance here. Shane Lowry, besides Zalatoris, is my second favorite play. This dude is just on a different level right now, and this is what I'm talking about on the PGA Tour. If you're looking at the screen in 2022, there's his only finishes. He played some World Tour events, had some good finishes there as well, but on stats, this is what I like to see. Shane Lowry, under pressure, let's go.
He makes a compelling argument for Lowry, a one-time major winner on the PGA Tour. Wildman, who do you like in the range of golfers that I just mentioned?
I'm going to go down really low here to Tyrrell Hatton as my favorite play in the 8K range. There's a few things you have to look at here. World ranking, recent form, and course history. His course history hasn't been great, but he checks boxes by having top 15s in a couple of his last tournaments. That tends to be a trend leading into Augusta, that good play and experience here translates into good finishes. He's a much better player than 8,000. I mean, we were just talking about Cantlay. Taylor Gooch is $700 more than Tyrrell Hatton. To me, that's like, are you sure you didn't put the wrong name in the wrong place there? So I think there's extreme value there to him. And then a guy that I can already tell is going to ruin my week one way or the other is Adam Scott. I'm thinking about playing him. Then I'm thinking about not playing him. And, he's just going to throw me through the ringer all week. So who the heck knows?
Just make one thing very clear here. We are pro Gooch on this podcast. You guys have been cutting him down all day today. The price on DraftKings.
Well,
we love Gooch.
We like Gooch at 7,400, not 87 in a major. I love Gooch. He replied to a tweet of ours or Wildman. So yeah, we're Gooch fans here all day. there is a
Finau.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That's the guy I was going to bring up. Edge, actually, continue what you're going to say.
Finau at 8,100. That's a pretty interesting play. And Wildman, the Florida sunshine's reflecting on your camera right now. We're having a hard time seeing it. What did you want to say about Finau there, Bunsy?
I think he's a super interesting play. Again, we're cutting out the Masters, so a 33rd at the Genesis and a 29th at the Valero. I just want to pull something up about Tony Finau with how he does coming into the Masters. And he seems like a scary play, but this dude's history is really good. Let's go down to the last Masters tournament here. Miscut, 10th at the Masters, miscut, 8th at the PGA. So that seems like, why would you ever play Tony Finau coming off 2 missed cuts? And then we come down to this Masters, an 11th, 24th, 38th. Not too bad. There's one other Masters I saw that he did well in right here. So in 19, 22nd of the Players, 61st at the Valero, 5th at the Masters, 60th and 64th after that. So I think Tony Finau is a super sneaky play. Great off the tee at the Valero. His irons are dialed in, getting 6.4 and 3.9 in the last 2 tournaments, not including the Players. $8,100. Give me some Tony Finau. He's a guy you just want to root for, isn't it? I mean, if you have him in contention of the Masters, you're the happiest guy, and that's a great price. Normally, he's like a $9,000 player. $8,100 is finally where I'm kind of looking at him, man. Like, yeah, that's a good price.
That is a really.
What are you saying, Ed?
That's a really interesting statistic you bring up about Finau, about how he just kind of goes and like about his motions in the regular tournaments, and then when they all get dialed in, it's a matter of motivation for these majors. Wildman, it is a radio show, dude. So thumbs up or thumbs down. We could let us know what you're doing. What's your problem with Finau?
I just don't think he's who he was a couple years ago. His most famous moment here is jogging down the par 3 after the ace and dislocating his ankle and putting it back in.
Oh man, what a weird, surreal moment of television that was.
10th, 5th, 38th, 10th for Finau. 8,100. That I don't even care. I mean, I'm on Finau this week. I am.
Made the cut here last year too, Wildman. It's part of the formula that we were talking about. Had to make the cut here last year, and I think course history really is as important here as any other course on the PGA Tour. The more you play it, it is like a private club, man. The more you play it, we come back every year. Some things don't change that much. Let's get back down into the $7,000 tier real quick here, guys, because again, you've got major winners here, guys that have actually won at Augusta. Sub 7,800 here. We have Fitzpatrick, who obviously hasn't won at 77, Fleetwood at 77, Casey at 76, Connors at 76, Webb at 75. We do have a one-time major winner, Justin Rose, who lost in a playoff to Sergio Garcia here at 75. Horschel at 74. Patrick Reed has a green jacket, 7,400. Bubba Watson, who is kind of like the reincarnation of Fred Couples right now in his late 40s, is going to make the cut, and he's going to do well here. At 7,300, that seems like the biggest value play of the week to me, honestly. No matter what his game is right now, this is like a private club that he plays at all year round, man. This is his club championship. For a lot of the guys, this is like their club championship. They know the course. They know the ins and the outs. Talk to me, guys, about some of the guys here at the $7,000 range, Bones DK.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good case. I mean, again, if you have like DJ and Zalatoris and Brooks, and then you have Bubba at the bottom with Sergio Garcia, how are you not going to like that lineup? 2 former champions, great golfers. That's a good case for those guys. I'm looking at Russell Henley, and I'm getting really worried about Henley because all the ownership right now is going to Henley and Connors. I think that's going to be the number one combo in this range by far. And it's kind of hard to make a case against these guys. Russell Henley has 4 straight top 15s here. Hasn't played since 2018. Gained 11.5 on approach last week. Hasn't had worse than a 33rd place in 2022. I mean, this dude is making cuts and is dialed in. His driver is something to worry about. So, yeah, that's a little red flag I'm looking at. And his ownership is maybe going to drive me away a little bit from Henley. I thought he was kind of an easy pick, but he's, by far getting the highest ownership in that range. And then Corey Connors. This dude, I keep pressing the wrong guy. I don't know what to do about Corey Connors. I think he's kind of the play I want to play in a weird way, even though he hasn't had a top 10 since August 2021. So why would I want to play Corey Connors over Russell Henley, who's churning out top 33s and top 15s, and then a Corey Connors that can't crack the top 10? So, yeah, he has good history here in 8th and the 10th at 7,600. I'm looking at Connors, but I'm going Henley over Connors, and I advise not to play both of them in the same lineup. If you're playing one of those GPPs, $15, that's going to be duplicated a million times. I'm actually excited to hear about Wildman's leverage plays here because I know those 2 plays are the chalkiest plays. A lot of people go into Matthew Fitzpatrick as well. I'm not married to that play.
Is my Bubba Watson take a freezing cold take, Wildman, or do you believe in it?
No, I like it, Edge. I mean, the Freddie Couples, Bernard Longer, Adam Scott, Bubba Watson, these Angel Cabrera, these are guys that have historical success here. Getting a little older.
I think Angel Cabrera is in an Argentinian prison right now. I'm not sure he's played the Masters in a few years. So I'm not sure how good a reference that is. But the other 4 names you mentioned were
in prison. That's correct. It's a South American prison.
What's he in prison for? Do you know?
Beat up his girlfriend or something, which I think he had problems with here in the States. Whatever. Let's leave Angel Cabrera in the South American prison. Let's bring it back to this cast here. Who do you like in the $7,000 range?
I like the Bubba take. And I'll play off of that to a guy at 7,500 named Webb Simpson, one of Bubba's best buddies. Really good history here. He's not coming in great form because he took some months off. He's only played a handful of times since the new year. But he's a major champion. He's a players champion. He's won many times on the PGA Tour. Got a nice draw to his ball flight, that right to left, that seems to favor guys because lefties typically get favored with the cut. So, a guy that I think, if you're giving me Corey Connors, who I like, by the way, or Webb Simpson, those guys aren't in the same galaxy as far as accolades and resume. However, they both do have good history here. So I like Webb as a former major champion getting some love. He's fallen all the way down to like 39th in the world ranking, I think. But he's a guy to take a long look at for some leverage there. And then the guy right below him is Mark Leishman at 7,300. Guy just shows up at majors, right? Good history here. Coming in some pretty darn good form. He got bugabooed by that draw at the Players as well and didn't play very well. So I wouldn't think too hard into that. He's checking some boxes for me here too. Two guys that I would expect to make the cut and expect to make a run. Remember, when you're looking at a leaderboard at Augusta, guys, it is a fantasy leaderboard. You're not going to see many guys in the top 10 come Saturday that you don't know who they are. So we know Leishman, we know Webb Simpson. By the way, guys, Russell Henley hasn't played here since 2018, so that's an X on his name. However, 15th and 11th in 18 and 17 here, and I feel like he's playing the best golf of his life. He was in the final group at the U.S. Open last year, so Henley, man,
he's an awesome golfer, man. He really is. Like, I mean, look at he hasn't had worse than a 56th. Even you scroll down to DraftKings. I mean, this dude is churning out top 30
Let me give you a name that's $1,000 less than that guy.
Okay.
Kisner, 6,800. Is that? I didn't even want to say that out loud. I don't want anybody to even know about him all the way down there at the bottom. What's he doing there? Is that the right price for him, or is that's the value pick right there?
Yeah, Edge. You're getting good at at this analysis, Edge. I like what you're putting out here. Kisner is a great play. There is one other guy I wanted to mention up top is Paul Casey. Watch out for that guy. He burned us on an 83 on Sunday, cost me thousands of dollars, and we got to get over him. I think he has really good history, and coming off a third of the Players, really good irons, 12th, 15th. We had him at that. The Arnold Palmer is the last time I played him, and with that 83 on the weekend, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm bitter about that. I think we got to get over that, actually. Really, really good history. I like Paul Casey here a lot. And then we get down to this.
Paul Casey's window closed many, many years ago. Let's talk about Kisner. Let's see his fantasy national stats.
So
hey, remember at the match play just a week or two ago, Casey only played 2 holes, conceded 48 holes. So he's got back spasms or something.
I think people are going to...
A lineup buster, man. Like, he's coming in with injury and not in great form. But, I mean, of course, he did have the most unlucky break in golf history when he rolled into that pitch mark on 17 at the Players. But
yeah, I mean, he almost won the Players. I mean, he almost won the Players.
Yeah.
I mean...
But he didn't.
But I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people are going to be stuck on Connors, Henley, and Fitzpatrick. That you're going to get Paul Casey, who's normally major chalk in most tournaments. People are bitter about him. They're jaded. He has an 83, the 77. He withdrew. People are pissed at him. He's coming off a 3rd place at the Players with amazing history at the Masters. I disagree that he's out of, that his time is over, if you will say. I think he's a great play this week. Mark it down.
All right. Anything? Does anybody want to comment on Kisner?
Well,
Kisner's a fade for me. I mean, I just don't think he has the length to play well enough here. Obviously a good putter, but I think that length usually can get him here. You might get a top 25 out of him, but I don't think he's a contender to win this week.
Anybody else, Bones DK? Did you want to say something about him finally, or should we move on to our final thoughts?
I'll do both at the same time. You know, Kisner is like on the Mount Rushmore for the Bones DK family. He's like always been on the winning lineups, and even last week, Wildman insisted that we played him at the match play, and I was like, this guy sucks, you know. And he came in. He came in second. I'm just saying like he wasn't in great form, Edge. You know, before you give me that face there, but my narrative is that he's a Georgia Bulldog playing in great form, and this is in Georgia. He actually doesn't have horrible history here. If we go over to tournament history on Kevin Kisner, coming off back-to-back missed cuts, but he has a 21st and a 28th. He's only $6,800, so you're not going to be upset if he gets a 21st at $6,800. He's probably going to pay off. I do like Kisner, and it's
very mediocre course history there. Maybe that's why it's
6,800. You don't need him to win the tournament. 6,800. You're looking to make the cut. One other guy I want to spin off the Georgia Bulldog momentum, playing some of the best golf ever. Won at the Honda Classic where it was windy and rainy. A Georgia guy, Sepp Straka at 6,600.
66.
Yeah. Good off the tee. Won at the Honda, 9th at the Players. I just think he's playing really good golf. A 16th place, a win, a 15th place at the Genesis, another Tiger Woods course, 9th at the Players. Those are 4 top 15 finishes in the last 6 events. Really tough events. I like Sepp Straka, even though he's putting really well. I'll bet on him. Let's go.
Any final thoughts, Wildman, for the any guys we didn't get here? A lot of golf talk here today.
Yeah, you haven't even asked me for the flyer of the week, so here you go.
I thought it was dead. No,
this is our final stand. Na 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 na. Hey, Kevin. Flyer of the week, 30th in the world, back-to-back top 13s here at Augusta. A guy very similar. If you've heard any of his interviews, I got this light in my face again. If you've heard any of his interviews over the years, he's a 5-time PGA Tour winner, and he's comfortable in his skin, and he's looking for a major. He's looking for that breakthrough win. I've seen him at the top of leaderboards here. He is the streakiest putter on planet Earth, more than Cam Smith. If he can get the putter going and, doesn't get, wet with rain or something that bothers him, and he,
it's going to be a media circus. I feel like that could very easily derail Kevin Na.
I think
he's one of those guys that loves to take his time. He's deliberate about how he plays. And I think being rushed or perhaps being put on the clock, which I think could happen because a lot of guys are going to be playing behind Tiger or playing in front of him, that could be an issue for Na.
Hey, we're going with it. It's Kevin Na, baby. Flyer of the week.
If we had a Mount Rushmore of freezing cold takes, the flyer of the week would be the first name that we etched into that Mount Rushmore. Any final thoughts about the DK before we sign off? Masters week is going to be exciting. Get in those contests now, because I imagine they're going to be filling up, especially those single shot ones that you and I like to play sometimes, Bones.
Yeah, just another week for us, right? I'm not gonna buy in the biggest contest ever just because of the Masters. We're sticking to the formula, so yeah, we're really excited about the Masters, man. I can't wait. We need a cash here. I mean, we are due, and the majors is where we eat. This is where we do it. Forget these weird Corn Ferry freaking tournaments that we've been betting on at the beginning of the year. This is the first major. We got a long season ahead of us, and let's hit big early.
No matter what, it's always some of the best television on earth. I'm looking forward to it this weekend, Wildman.
Yeah, I mean, enjoy the Tiger stuff, right? For a fan watching on TV, does it get any better than that? I mean, and remember, guys, the Augusta National app for the Masters will follow each guy individually. You'll get videos of each shot, so you can actually see where their ball is lying and what they're doing and how their putt looks and so on and so forth. Really tremendous app. So much better than the PGA Tour app. So should be a fun week, and hopefully Tiger can chase down some of these monsters.
Yeah, hopefully Tiger, it'll be interesting to watch him go for his 6th. I mean, I just hope he plays well. It would be awesome to see him make the cut. I mean, look, it'd be awesome if he won. Let's just call a spade a spade. That 2019 win was probably one of the best moments of my sporting life. And the Steelers and the Penguins have always had great success. We've been fortunate in that regard. But that was one of the best moments of my sporting life. It was just something incredible. Yeah, you'll never see that again, ever, in our lifetime.
The scene of him walking off the 72nd where he's got Charlie Woods there and he gives the woo! I mean, that was one of the coolest things. It's chills down my spine,
I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. So let's hope at the very least he's able to make the cut so we get 4 full days of Tiger Woods. I think that's a reasonable ask. I think he could do that, even though he hasn't played in a calendar year. You shouldn't be surprised about anything Tiger does with a golf club. Let's just say that. Let's hope he has success. But it's going to be an awesome week of television. And Bones DK, TW Man 66, we appreciate your analysis as always. The Masters get started early on Thursday morning, so make sure you get there you go, man. Make sure you get your lineups in early. Get those contests reserved tonight. If you're thinking about betting them, think about your lineups. Keep an eye on Twitter for Bones DK's cheat sheet. And we wish you guys all luck at the Masters. For Bones DK Golf, for TW Man 66, my name is Edge. Follow me at Golf Guy WV, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Good luck this week at Augusta National, guys. Let's get some money, huh?
Let's go, baby.
Where the money reside? Where the money reside?
Let's
Best
go.
week of the year. Best week of the year.
Come on now, baby.